Is this Emily? I have a boyfriend. I found your purse at Starbucks and it had your number on it, so I thought I'd let you know. Oh my goodness, where can I meet you to pick it up? I have a girlfriend. Here's the dark theory about Bikini Bottom. The Reddit user Capmaster pointed out that Bikini Bottom is named like that because it's directly under Bikini Atoll, which is where they did nuclear testing from 1946 to 1958. And because of this, the creatures that were living in that area have mutated and that's why they can talk. Another Reddit user said that chipmunks were among the animals kept on the Navy ship during these tests. And that's why Sandy wears a full protection suit and turns into a strong creature during hibernation. Why is there a 2-year gap on your resume? Oh, I was in jail. Really? For what? For killing the last interviewer who said he'd call me back. Congratulations, you're hired. Here's 5 world records you didn't know existed. The most toothpicks in a beard. It took Joel 3 hours and 13 minutes to put 3,500 toothpicks in his beard. The longest hair on a teenager, which is 5 feet and 7 inches. The longest hula hoop spun, which is just over 17 feet in diameter. The tallest hat, which is 15 feet and 9 inches. And finally, the largest table tennis bat, which is over 11 feet tall and 6 feet long. Hello. Would you like to make a donation for the swimming pool that the town's building? Yeah, of course. Just 1 second. Here you go. Here's the dark theory about Timmy Turner. In the show, when kids turn 13, they lose their fairy godparents. So fans believe right before he turned 13, he wished to be a ghost, which turned his whole world into the show Danny Phantom. This is why Timmy looks like Danny, Chester looks like Dash, AJ looks like Tucker, and Trixie looks like Paulina.
Hello, Mrs. Talbot. I'm wondering if Ben's awake. Not yet. He's still sleeping. Oh, I was wondering if you wanted to come to my house today. Good morning, Mommy. Who are you talking to? Your friend Luke's wondering if you want to go to his house. Can I? If you want to. Say yes. He just woke up and he said yes.
Here's the 3 most dangerous kid toys. In the 1990s, Rollerblade Barbie was released. Each rollerblade used the same wheel mechanism they use in cigarette lighters. So when the Barbie was rolled, it would shoot out sparks. In 1996, the Cabbage Patch Snack Time Kid was released. It ate plastic foods that came with it and exited through a hole in the backpack. But the toy couldn't tell whether it was plastic, your finger, or your hair. And one girl's hair was ripped down to her scalp. Finally, in the 1990s, Nickelodeon released Moon Shoes, which you would strap onto your feet and the springs would help you jump higher. However, they weren't very safe and lots of people sprained and broke their ankles. Mom, where's my laptop? It's on the table. It's not here. Check again. Here's how fans found Marshmallow's real identity. In this picture on Instagram, you could see a red tattoo through the hole in his jeans. The DJ Chris Comstock also has a red tattoo on his leg. During this interview with Skrillex, someone named Chris phoned him and he said it was Marshmallow.
And, is that right now?
It's Chris.
Oh, Marshmallow.
Finally, the DJ Feed Me posted a picture of him wearing Marshmallow's mask on his Instagram story. And if you look in the mirror, you could see Chris Comstock taking the picture with the rest of the outfit. It was later deleted, but fans noticed this and took screenshots. Hey, do you think I'm ugly? What? No, why would you say that? Wait, what did I say? Do you think I'm ugly? Yes, I think you're ugly. 3 times The Simpsons predicted the future. In a 2012 episode, Lady Gaga performed for the town hanging in midair. 5 years later, she flew off the Houston Energy Stadium roof in real life to perform for the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2008, they showed Homer trying to vote for Barack Obama in the election, but the machine kept changing his vote. 4 years later, a voting machine in Pennsylvania was removed because it kept changing people's votes from Barack Obama to his rival Mitt Romney. Before I tell you the craziest one about Apple, I found this app that gives you a bunch of new fonts. Just press this button on my profile if you want to get it. Finally, in 1994, a school bully wrote "Beat Up Martin" on his Apple Newton, which was a product before the iPhone was made, but it got translated to "Eat Up Martha." A few years later, when making the iPhone keyboard, they added the autocorrect feature, and said it was inspired by this episode of The Simpsons. Honey, I started eating turtles the other day. Seriously? Yeah. Why? The doctor told me I shouldn't eat fast food. One in a million coincidences. These 2 trucks lined up and said Taylor Swift. This guy took off the mask and looks more like Mario than Mario does himself. The mountains on the truck lined up perfectly with the mountains in real life. These 2 ladies were dressed up almost the exact same and they're doing the same thing. This news reporter looks the exact same as the robber that's on the loose. I got married. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. She's ugly. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. She's rich. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. She won't give me money. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. She bought me a big house. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. The house burnt down. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. She was in it. Here's the 3 most dangerous kid toys. The kite tube was made to be pulled behind a boat and then raised up into the air. But when people would get up into the air, they would have no control. And although it looks fun, 3 adults were killed from falling off. This floaty was made for babies to sit in. However, it was cheaply made and ripped easily, causing babies to fall into the water. The company was fined $650 for knowing about this problem for 6 years. Slip and slides may not seem dangerous, however, they're only meant for kids. In 1993, there was a warning issued for teens and adults using slip and slides. The slides aren't long enough for their size and weight, so people were getting hurt from the sudden stop. At the time of the warning, 1 teenager and 7 adults had become paralyzed from neck injuries.
I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's gone wrong with me? Feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's gone wrong with me? Feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed.
Photos you're not supposed to see. Here's what the Teletubbies look like without their heads. Here's where the picture on the Cliff Bar was taken. Here's what a magic 8-ball really looks like. Here's what a ramen noodle cup looks like on the inside. And here's how pineapples are grown. Boss, I'm gonna need a raise, otherwise there's 3 companies calling me every day. What? Which companies? Water, electrical, and the bank. The reason there's UFO sightings in Area 51. In the 1950s, US planes were doing low-flying recon missions over Russia. They did these missions to obtain more information because they were enemies, but they were constantly worried about being spotted and shot down. So in 1954, the president authorized the development of a high-flying top-secret aircraft. They needed a location that wasn't easily accessed by the public, so they chose Area 51. In 1955, there were spottings of UFOs in that area, and this is because they were testing the new aircraft that they built. It could fly higher than 60,000 feet in the air, and at the time, normal aircrafts could only fly 10,000 to 20,000 feet in the air. So when pilots would spot this top secret aircraft above them, they would think it's a UFO. It's that easy, huh? Five times actors weren't acting. In this scene of Stranger Things, when Eleven was fighting possessed Billy, she was so exhausted from filming that she broke character and fell back into Michael's arms. You can even see him look at the producers because he wasn't expecting it. In this episode of Riverdale, when Archie rescued Cheryl from the lake, even though he was punching a mat on the ice, he actually broke his hand from hitting so hard. In the movie Bird Box, the actor Sandra Bullock was blindfolded the whole time, and she actually couldn't see. So in scenes when she was stumbling around, it was actually real and not acting. In the movie Maleficent, they couldn't find any kids that weren't scared of her, so they ended up using her own child. Her daughter wasn't acting, she was just trying to get her mom's attention. In this episode of Friends, David Schwimmer pranked Jennifer Aniston by pretending to fall down the stairs. She didn't know this was happening, so she actually got scared. The dark truth about iCarly. In the show Drake and Josh, Jerry Trainer played the character named Crazy Steve, who had anger issues, and Miranda Cosgrove played a girl named Megan. As soon as the show ended, iCarly came out. Fans believed that Crazy Steve murdered Drake, Josh, and their family, then kidnapped Megan and brought her to Seattle, where he made her change her name to Carly and pretend he was her brother Spencer. So no one would be suspicious, Spencer made up a fake story that their father was in the US Navy and their mother passed away. Carly then started a web show hoping someone would find out and rescue her. I just moved into the apartment next door and I was wondering, how many rolls of wallpaper did you buy when you moved in? I bought 18 rolls. It's kind of funny, I put the wallpaper up everywhere and I still had 10 rolls left over. So did I. 3 places you're not allowed to visit. In Atlanta, Georgia, they made this vault to hide the recipe for Coca-Cola. And legend has it that only 2 or 3 employees actually know the ingredients. The people who live on North Sentinel Island are known for firing flaming arrows and throwing rocks at tourists. So the government decided it's off limits. This vault in Norway holds thousands of seeds for every plant on Earth, which could restore the Earth if there is ever a disaster that wiped out all of our natural resources. To who do you owe your success as a millionaire? And what were you before she came into your life? I owe everything to my girlfriend. A billionaire. strangest last meal requests on death row. In 1963, Victor Harry Fager was sentenced to death for a kidnap and murder. For his final meal, he requested a single olive with the seed left in it. After his execution, the seed was found in his pocket. They believe he wanted to be buried with it so a tree would sprout on top of him. Gerald Lee Mitchell requested an assorted bag of Jolly Ranchers and he ate every single one. Now before I tell you the craziest one, I found this app that boosts your Snap score and makes your Snapchat look like this. If you want to try it, just press the button on my profile. In 1990, James Edward Smith requested a lump of soil, but because dirt isn't on the list of permitted food, he was served a cup of yogurt instead. It says on the menu that you sell fat-free fries, is that true? Yep, 100%. Really? Well then I'll get a large. Okay, it'll only be a minute. Wait a minute, why are the potatoes dripping with oil? I thought you said it was fat-free. It is, you only have to pay for the potatoes. Three most terrifying places to swim. This pool in China has machinery made to create waves, but in 2019 it malfunctioned and made a bigger wave than the pool was designed for. It sent people flying in the air and landing on tiles. 44 people were injured, but there is luckily no deaths. This place in Hawaii called the Pool of Death is a place to swim made out of volcanic rocks. The water is clear and the perfect temperature for swimming, but at any time waves from the ocean can throw people against the rocks and pull them underwater, which has caused many deaths. This popular tourist spot called Devil's Pool is the deadliest place to swim on earth. Against the waterfall's edge is surrounded by rocks, making it the perfect place to swim and take pictures. But one wrong move and you'll fall to your death. No, I should get it because I always get 100%. But I've never skipped a day of class. What are you two arguing about? We found this $20 bill and decided to give it to whoever could tell the biggest lie. You should be ashamed of yourself. When I was your age, I didn't even know what a lie was. You win. Normal looking photos with disturbing backstories. This looks like a normal picture at first, but if you look on the left, you could see a hand around the girl that doesn't belong to any one of them. People believe this is the hand of a ghost because the picture was taken near a haunted house. This picture was taken in 1998, a few minutes before the red vehicle on the right had a bomb explode inside of it. Luckily, the father and son survived, but the person taking the picture didn't. In 1975, these two brothers took a picture because their hair was sticking up. A few seconds later, lightning struck and another hiker died. The boys survived, but one of them got third-degree burns and later took his life.
Overwhelmed so easily, my anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's come over me? I get overwhelmed so easily, my anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's come over me? Feels like I'm so.
Three celebrities who gave up fame to work normal jobs. Dylan and Cole Sprouse starred in the show The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. While Cole continued his acting career by going on the show Riverdale, Dylan stopped to open up his own brewery. Peter Ostrom played Charlie Bucket in Willy Wonka, but after that he refused a 3-movie deal. As he got older, he became a veterinarian and specializes in farm animals. Hayden Christensen was known for playing Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. But in 2007, he moved to Canada and bought a farm. With his passion for design, he also started his own clothing company in 2013. Why is there a 4-year gap on your resume? Oh, that's when I was in Yale. Oh wow, that's impressive. You're hired. Thank you so much. I really needed this job. Biggest coincidences in the world. Shortly before their wedding, Nick and Amy decided to go through Nick's baby photos. In this picture of him playing at the beach during a vacation, Amy noticed herself in the background 11 years before they met. A reporter was asking people on the street in the UK if they remembered the final round of the 1967 FA Cup soccer game. The person he chose to interview turned out to be the goalie who played in the game, and look how happy he was.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. I played in it.
Did you?
I was goalkeeper for Liverpool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a stroke of luck, me meeting
nice.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, can you remind me of your name?
Tommy Lawrence.
The guys in these pictures look the exact same, but they're not even related. The first picture is Enzo Ferrari, who was a race car driver and the founder of the car brand Ferrari. The other guy is a soccer player named Mesu. But the scariest part is that Enzo died in 1988, which is the same year that Mesu was born. I like your t-shirt. Oh, thanks. Crazy laws that only exist in North Korea. In 2013, North Korea's leader made a law that there would only be 28 hairstyles allowed. 18 for the woman and 10 for the men. But the most unfair part is that the leader's haircut isn't even on the list. You can't watch your favorite shows on TV. They have 3 channels to choose from that are controlled by the government. The only people who are allowed to own cars are state officials. It's estimated that 1 to 10 in 1,000 people can own one. You can't make an international call. In 2007, a man was shot in a stadium because he made a call outside of North Korea. If you live in North Korea, you're forced to stay there for the rest rest of your life. Finally, if you thought the last one was crazy, you're not allowed to have your own opinions that go against the leader's rules. You'll be sent away to an educational camp where they'll threaten and torture you until you learn to not have your own opinion. I bought this lie detector, so if you lie, it'll beep. Okay? So, you were at school today, right? Yeah. Okay, I was at the movies. Alright, I went for a beer with my friends. What? When I was your age, I never would have touched alcohol. He really is your son. Coolest houses in the world. The safe house is the only home in the world designed for a zombie apocalypse. When you flip the switch, the mechanical concrete walls and steel doors shut, making it impossible to get in. It even has a drawbridge to get to the pool so you don't have to go downstairs. This house has 3 floors with built-in slides. One side of the house has stairs to get to each floor, but on the other side there's a slide that you could ride all the way down to the first floor. The house also has a built-in ball pit. Finally, there's 130 of these floating houses being built in Dubai. The bedroom is on the lowest floor, making it fully underwater. There's huge windows that overlook the coral reef. And on the top floor, there's a bar and hot tub. Luke! Yeah? Yeah? Oh, so you've been on your phone the whole time, huh? What? No. Hey, I'd like you to do the dishes. And in a million coincidences, this bird landed on the page about itself. This guy's t-shirt, race number, and finishing time were all the same number. A dog gave birth to these 3 puppies, each with their own corresponding number on their back. These 2 strangers sat next to each other at a bar and spelled Cookie Monster. And this person managed to take a picture at the exact same time as the balloon was popping. Our principal's an idiot. Do you know who I am? No. I'm his daughter. Do you know who I am? No. Good. 3 actors who actually got injured in movies. In Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise had a scene where he jumped from building to building. He slams into the building, then pulls himself up in pain and slowly limps away. This is because when he hit the building, he actually broke his ankle. In The Exorcist, there's a scene where the possessed girl slaps her mom across the room, causing her to yell. To film this scene, there were people who pulled the actor onto her back using wires. But they pulled too hard and left her with lifelong back pain. Finally, in a scene for the movie Apocalypse Now, the actor had to pretend like he was drunk. But he thought it would be more realistic if he was actually drunk, so that's what they did. And because he wasn't thinking right, he punched a mirror, causing it to break and cut his hand. But he kept going and they used it in the final cut. Do you want to go out for supper tonight? Yeah, sure. Okay, be ready in an hour. Are you ready? No, not yet. 3 Secret Service tactics that are insane. The president's main way of transportation is called the Beast. It's a Cadillac limousine with over 7 tons of armor, which is 8 inches thick. It can defend against gunfire and explosives, but it never travels alone. In the line of vehicles, there's a black van that holds the counter assault team, and in total there's 12 vehicles that each cost over $1 million. When chefs are cooking food for the president, every single one of their movements is monitored by an agent to make sure they're not poisoning the food. When the president travels, chefs go with him to personally prepare his food. He doesn't eat any food that's gifted to him, and when he buys food at a restaurant, he doesn't actually eat it. It's usually just for a photo. The president gets lots of online threats, and even if it's just a joke, they investigate every single aspect of that person's life. Their neighbors, friends, and employees can all be interviewed. They do this to see how serious the threat is, then decide if they need to take action on the person or not. You were today's years old when you found this out. Owls' legs are longer than you thought. When someone tells you to break a leg in an audition, it's because they want you to end up in the cast. When the first episode of a show is called pilot, it's because it's the first time they're on air. The L in the store Staples is a half-open staple. Flames don't have shadows. The blue side of the eraser is meant to clean up smudges made by the pink side. What happened to you? My pirate ship was under attack and they got a lucky shot on my leg, so now I have this wooden peg. What about your hand? When my ship sank, a shark bit off my hand, so now I have this hook. Oh, and why do you have an eye patch? I was standing on a dock and a seagull pooped in my eye. But you don't go blind from seagull poop. True, but it was my first day with the hook. You ask. No, why can't you ask? Just ask. No, you ask. Fine. Hey, my friend wants to ask you something. Can you give me back my controller tomorrow? Yeah, sure. Okay, but don't forget. I won't forget. So, did you bring it? Bring what? Oh! This is my favorite part of the movie. Spider-Man's about to die. Seriously? Here's what movies look like without special effects. The Mandalorian was filmed in a studio with one big screen. Here's how Spider-Man flies in the sky. Here's what Thanos actually looked like before special effects. Most racing scenes aren't actually filmed in the streets, but in a studio. Although Jumanji was filmed in a desert, some scenes had to be filmed in a studio. The actors who play the monkeys in Planet of the Apes actually look pretty funny. And here's what I look like without special effects. Can I ask one question? But you just did. Fine, can I ask 2 questions? You already did. Okay, can I ask 4 questions? You just did, again. When? Now. 3 candies that can kill you. With chewing gum, you could blow bubbles, use it for focus, or just chew it for flavor. One guy found out that dipping it in citric acid prolongs the taste. But one night he dipped it in the wrong bowl. The bowl contained an unknown chemical that was possibly explosive. All it took was one chew and the gum exploded in his mouth. Unfortunately, the 25-year-old died from his injuries. Fun Dip are little sticks that you lick sugar off of. But for some kids that wasn't enough. They decided to inhale the sugar through their nostrils. When it's inhaled, it goes in your lungs and makes your nose bleed. And all sorts of risks can occur. Kinder Surprises were really popular. You get a tasty chocolate egg with a fun toy inside. But they were banned in America due to a law that states you can't have non-edible objects in any type of food. Some kids would think the toy inside is another candy, which caused a 3-year-old to pass away from choking on a Kinder Surprise toy. Did you get home safe? No, I died a few times. Would you like a bag today? No thanks, I'll just carry the 20 items on my head. Mom, I'm going out. With your friends? No, Mom, with Dora the Explorer. Who's Dora? Is she your girlfriend? Pictures you're not supposed to see. Here's what an owl looks like without any feathers. This is what tiger skin looks like. Here's a human heart without any blood. This is what the bottom of a fire hydrant looks like. Here's the inside of a turtle's mouth. Here's the inside of a bowling ball. And here's the inside of a dice. Are these plates clean? They're as clean as cold water can get them. Just eat your meal. Are you sure these plates are clean? I told you before, those dishes are as clean as cold water can get them. Grandpa, your dog keeps growling at me. Cold water, come here. Movie mistakes that made the final cut. In Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the Ewoks are bowing down to see 3PO. In one clip they show a close-up of an Ewok's face, and if you look closely you could see a missing eye. If you look through the hole you could see the actor's face. During Rey and BB-8's first encounter, she noticed his antenna was bent and decided to help him out. When she took out the antenna to fix it, the top of BB-8 is a metallic gray color. But when she goes to put the antenna back on, his head changes to white. Now before I tell you the craziest one about the Black Panther, I found this app that tells you your celebrity lookalike, and apparently I look like Marilyn Monroe. If you want to find out who you look like, just press the button on my profile. In the Black Panther, Shuri designed him an upgraded suit with a special pair of shoes called sneakers. They had this name because they absorbed sound so he could walk around quietly. It allowed the Black Panther to sneak behind his enemies without them hearing him. But later in the movie when he runs and jumps, the sound editors forgot to leave out the footsteps. Would you like a table today? No, I'm gonna eat on the floor. Are you buying all these items today? No, I'm stealing them. I just wanted to show you first. Are you doing your homework? No, I'm writing a letter to SpongeBob. Photos you're not supposed to see. Did you know big lighters are just made out of small lighters? This is what a bathroom without any stalls looks like. This is what paint looks like before you stir it. Here's what the inside of a pool table looks like. And here's what the inside of a gas pump looks like. Luke, where's your homework? I'm really sorry, I don't have it here. How come? I ate my worksheets. What? Why would you do such a thing? Because my dog refused to. What prisoner invented Lamborghini? Ferruccio Lamborghini was a farmer, but he was more interested in the machinery like tractors. In 1940, he was drafted into the Italian Royal Air Force where he served as a mechanic. He was later taken as a prisoner by the British at the end of war in 1945. He worked as their mechanic and they let him go after a year. After the war, in his spare time, he started making tractors and named them Lamborghinis. It ended up being one of the largest manufacturers of its kind in Italy. With his success, he started collecting cars. He was disappointed with his Ferrari 250 GT because the clutch kept breaking. When he brought it to a mechanic, he found out that the car used the same clutch he uses in some of his tractors. He was mad because he pays 10 euros for a tractor's clutch and 1,000 euros for the car's clutch. He decided to tell the founder Enzo Ferrari about the problems. But he said the problem wasn't with the car, it was with him because he's a farmer and a tractor driver, not a car manufacturer. After that, Ferruccio was determined, so he hired 3 ex-employees from Ferrari. And 9 months later, his first sports car came out, which was the Lamborghini 350 GT. It proved to everyone that he wasn't just a tractor manufacturer. His employees started working on a secret project car called the Miura P400, which Ferruccio didn't know about. When he found out about it, he decided not to scrap the idea, which ended up being one of his best decisions ever. It was the world's first sports car to be made with a rear mid-engine, and the rear mid-engine became standard on all high-performance cars. Hey, do you want to go to the movie theater with me? To watch a movie? No, to count how many seats there are. Oh hey, are you shopping for groceries too? No, I'm hunting unicorns. Ooh, did you hurt yourself? No, do you want me to do it again? Here's what actually happens during sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is when you feel like you're awake, meaning you could see and hear, but your body's still asleep and unable to move. During this, you may be unable to move or speak for a couple seconds or even a few minutes. Some people also feel pressure on their chest, as if someone was sitting or standing on it. You might even be afraid because of a nightmare that you were having. This usually happens when you're first falling asleep or your body's getting ready to wake up.